What is going on, ICBA fans? My name is Frosty, aka the Alpha Like a Rocket, and today I'm bringing you our Week 8 battle against Sam, aka Frawls, coach of the Melbourne Metagross. Now, I know this video is coming out late, but let me fix this freaking mic here real quick. I know it's coming out late, so there will be no team builder like there was in the last video, just because I'm already late with everything. So, as you can see, the team that we brought Tornadus I, Meloetta, Sneasel, Gardevoir, Heatran, and Lando T. No real special sets on this. I am rocking a weakness policy, Tornadus, and also a Calm Mind, Sleep Talk, Hyper Voice, Meloetta. Other than that, everything else is kind of cool. And then a Choice Banded Lando T, which has a special move on it for another mon later on. But here, let's get into the video, as I'm already behind, so I'll just kind of explain my actions as we go. So, yeah. I know he had a mon that had high jump kick. I think it was... He had a mon that had a high jump kick, and I actually brought Protect on Sneasel just because of it. But I opened with Tatsumaki because I'm expecting him to lead with something else. But he actually leads with Mamoswine. It's got me a little bit weird, but I know I'm faster, and so I just decided to go for Focus Blast because if he's not sashed, this will KO it, and I actually hit it. But unfortunately, he is sashed. So he is a Suicide lead set. And I guess that's okay because he gets the Stealth Rocks up. Now here I know I'm going to take an Ice Shard because he's just going to try and get chip damage, which is fine because that's going to proc my weakness policy here. So he goes for the Ice Shard, he does do it. And at this range I thought I was too low to come back from... I thought I was too low to survive rock entries, but I probably should have just swapped out after this because... after this, here I just go for Poison because it's a move that is guaranteed to hit, and plus it's a 1 HP, so it's guaranteed to kill. So here he brings in the Magneton. I'm like, okay, it's either Choice Scarfed or it's Choice Banded, or Choice Spec. So here I just decided to put the Tailwind up just because I know he's probably Scarfed as he goes for the Volt Switch. I know I'm not going to survive it, even though I'm at +2. If I was faster than it and I hit the, if I hit the Focus Blast again, it instantly kills this thing. So I was like, okay, you know, let's just do that. As he brings in Milton here, now I realized this is probably my best time to set up. So I decided to bring in Meloetta and start setting up some Calm Minds, as he can't really, as I am the Rest Talk variant, so I'm not too worried about it. Unfortunately, the item I'm holding is a Psychic Seed because he did have a Tapu Lele on his team. So I brought Psychic Seed because I thought Tapu Lele was coming, as Tapu Lele with a Psychic Seed would have given me a +1 special defense. So I would have been able to come in on Scarfed or Specs, and I would have been able to get the +1 special defense. But here I'm kind of regretting it and kind of wishing I had gone for Leftovers. Those Leftovers would have been nicer to have in the long run. So here I'm just going to set up Calm Minds. There's no point not to. At +3 I KO this thing easily if it's a full specially defensive version. But looking at it, it looks like it's full defensive. So at +2, I do huge chunks of damage to this. So here I'm just kind of setting up my Calm Minds and allowing myself to take a little bit of damage, as I know I am faster than this thing. As he only has, I think, 2 things faster than me. No, 3. He has 3. He has 3 things faster than this. So here I'm at +3. I know I can take toxic damage. I can take whatever this thing wants to do because I'm at +3. And so on this turn, I'm going to rest up and I'm going to get my, get myself fully healed back up, and I'm going to put myself in a great positioning. So here he just goes for Toxic Spike. He's trying to set up he's just trying to set it up so that way Hazard Stacks wins. But here I'm not too worried about it, as if I hit a Hyper Voice now at any time, I can pretty much sweep through his entire team. There's not too much he can do against my Meloetta at this point. So here I go for the Sleep, and so he withdraws, and he actually makes the bold move and goes into Hydreigon. It was a very bold move here. I wasn't expecting it, because if I hit a Hyper Voice on this thing gets instantly killed. But luckily enough for him, the Sleep Talk procs a Calm Mind. So to me, I'm thinking this could be a physical variant because he brought it in on top of me, and I don't see him bringing in a special attacker on somebody that's got a +4 or a +3 Calm Mind up. So I'm at +4 right now, as he does reveal himself to be physical. So I'm like, I'm not sure how much damage this is going to do. As it does 87, I'm like, okay, I could easily survive this, as I know it does 87 damage, and that's a minimum roll. So unless he supremely high rolls here or crits, there's no way he can KO me. So with that, I Sleep Talk another Calm Mind. Now I wasn't sure if I would survive I wasn't sure about going for the Hyper Voice here. I should have gone for the Hyper Voice just to KO this thing, because if I go for the Hyper Voice here, I KO it, but I'm still at 18, but I wasn't sure I would live. This is where leftovers would have come in handy, because with leftovers I could have guaranteed that I could live pretty much anything else that's there, and at +5 he has nothing that survives +5. And the fastest thing that he has faster than me would be his Scarfer and that Rosary, but Rosary does special damage, so I could have just slept up on the Rosary and then just easily gone to town on the rest of his team. So here we proc a rest. I mean, we're getting kind of unlucky with these Calm Minds. Luckily enough, here we get lucky and he hits himself in Confusion. So we get that. So I'm like, okay, we got a possibility of getting a KO here. But Sleep Talk RNG hates me, and I get another rest. So I get 2 rests and 2 Calm Minds. So I have not procced 1 Hyper Voice yet. It snaps out of Confusion. He goes into Dark Pulse, which I also see why, because if I'm rocking Psychic, he can't touch it. I did tell him later on that I had Hyper Voice, and that was the whole reason why I left it in, because if I'd had Psychic, I would have pulled it out immediately. I wouldn't have tried to set up knowing that this thing could come in on, but I just go for rest here just to guarantee that my HP is okay. As he just goes for the Dark Pulse, and then next turn he was going to go for the Outrage to guarantee the kill because he couldn't guarantee it. So here he goes for this again. Here he gets a little bit of a high roll. He gets a high roll, I shouldn't say a little bit. He gets a high roll here. So here I go for Sleep Talk again, and I proc another rest. I'm like, are you kidding me? 5 Sleep Talks, I get 2 Calm Minds and a rest. So the only way he kills me now is by crit or by max roll. And what do you know, with my RNG luck, he gets another max roll. I'm like, are you joking me right now? So he rolls a 96 and then 97. I'm like, you have to be kidding me, right? So I go into Fajita because Fajita easily resists Dragon. Plus it's physically defensive, so I know I can eat this up as I go for just a Flash Cannon. As I know Flash Cannon is stab and it does a decent amount of damage. I probably should have done Lava Plume to try to get the burn, but it doesn't do all that much damage to this thing. So at that range, I should have just noticed that it was going to take it out. I knew that it was going to take it out, so I was like, okay, I'm going to make the prediction that he goes into Volcanion here, expecting me to go for another Flash Cannon. But here he actually stays in, surprises me, goes for the superpowers. A very good move on his part. But if he had hit himself, he would have done a lot of damage. And if I had gone for Flash Cannon, he would have died right here, and he would have lost his biggest win con. So he gets extremely lucky that I made an over prediction. But as it is, RNG has pretty much thrown this match hugely in his favor just because of the Sleep Talk shenanigans just not happening. So here I just go into Urza Scarlet because there's not much, you know, if he goes for any sort of thing, he's just not going to do anything. I had a feeling he was going to get out because I don't see him going for another superpower because he's at -1. Even if I'm at negatives, he could still take me out. Plus he's got confusions. But he does actually just go for the Dark Pulse here. He just wants to try and KO me. That would have KO'd me from that range had he, breaking through. But here I'm with Urza. I still think I have a good shot of winning. He does not know if I have the thing, so he just U-turns out. He knows he's faster. He has no idea what I have on this set. He doesn't know if it's an attack set or a non-attack set as he goes into Magneton. Here, I believe I just go for the Wish. Yeah, I go for the Wish here. So, I don't remember what I try to wish into. I think I just protect and I wish up myself. No, I actually pass it. And I pass it over to the Toph because I know this thing will scare Toph out. As I know Toph will scare this thing out. And plus if he goes for I didn't see him going for a Volt Switch, because Volt Switch, if I bring this thing in, then it's absolutely useless and he's locked into it and I get a free move. So, but here I just go for a Wish as I get it passed over into Toph here. So now I know he has to switch out, or as I'm expecting him to switch out. But he doesn't, and it actually throws me off a little bit. As I go for the superpower, I know this thing will knock it out, and it does knock it out. So Toph picks up another KO, which is good for us. But now I know I can't stay in. I am choice banded, so I know I have to get out in this next one. So Rosary comes in. I'm expecting it to have Hidden Power Ice. I'm expecting it to have all of the stuff. So I want to get out. I want to get out into something else. So I decided just to go into Shiva, as you know, even if he goes for a grass move, it's not really gonna matter. I didn't have much of a switch in on this thing anyways after this, but he just goes for spikes as he just wants to hazard stack me and get me to kill myself upon switchings. But here I'm like, you know what, let's just go for it. I'm rocking the icicle plate. Let's just go for the icicle crash. I know icicle crash will kill from this range. I don't see him staying in. I thought he was going to switch into Volcanion here, as Volcanion would have been a good resist for this, but no, he just sacks off the Roserade. Maybe he thought he was faster, but I don't know. Or maybe he just didn't need it anymore. But so here he goes into his Miltank, as I know Miltank will be able to KO me from this, and I probably should have just swapped out and on this, but I just go for the Icicle Crash because I gotta get him within range. I gotta get him within range of a possible superpower. So as it is, I put him somewhat within range, and then I see a Fire Punch, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know I'm gonna lose Shiva, that's fine. I got him within range of Toph, that's fine. Now here's the thing, I see no leftovers, and I'm like, great, this is probably Choppleberry. This is more than likely either Choppleberry or it's Rocky Helmet, and if it's Choppleberry, I'm gonna lose Toph on the next turn. So I go for my tech move this one, as I know it's guaranteed to KO, as I just go for Explosion. I need this thing out of the way, and I just decide Explosion is the best way of doing it. So I just go for the Explosion because it's a guaranteed KO, it is a fully defensive set, and it doesn't matter, so I sacrifice Toph just to get Miltank out of the way. As I still feel I have a good chance of winning this. So I go into Urza because I'm like, okay, Urza can still get me this. Yes, I'm going to take some spikes, I'm going to take some rocks, but I have Healing Wish. I got this. As he goes into Hydreigon, I'm like, okay, Healing Wish is priority. I'll Healing Wish back up into my Heatran, and then I'll take this thing on the next turn. The problem is I thought Healing Wish was priority, and I could have sworn on all my research on it is that it was priority, so I was really shocked here to see that it wasn't priority. So basically he gets a 2-0 win because of RNG and my inabilities to ensure that moves were doing what they should do. So as it was, he gets basically a free 2-0 win here. He should have actually got swept 5-0, but I mean, RNG, there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, when you have a 33% chance and you don't proc Hyper Voice, that's just extremely bad luck. I mean, if you look at it, if I at +5, if I had procced Hyper Voice at half health, there's nothing on his team that takes me. There's nothing. I one-shot the Magneton, I one-shot the Roserade, I one-shot the Volcanion, and I one-shot the Miltank. I one-shot everything at +5. +5 Hyper Voice one-shots everything. So this is where, like I said, having leftovers would have been a little bit more, because then I could have killed the Hydreigon, got the 6%, guaranteed my survival on the next turn from anything, and then killed that, and then killed everything else. Because as soon as Roserade is down, there's nothing that's faster. There's nothing that he has that's faster. And even if it was, I'm so specially defensively invested. I have so much special defense because of the +5, he can't do enough damage to kill me. And even if he could, he's left with maybe Miltank, or he's left with Volcanion at very low health, and a Miltank. And then I just pretty much bring Toph in, I Earthquake, kill it, bring in, you know, Fajita. Fajita just, you know, lava plumes it to death. And even if he does kill me, even if he does kill that, I bring Toph back in, Explosion, and win the game. Because if it's half health, Toph with Explosion wins the game. That's it. I mean, this was a win that should have been a win, but RNG on my Hyper Voices just absolutely gave him this win. So I can't say anything about it. It just happens. It's my fault for running a set that's based on RNG. So you know, I was upset about it because I felt I should have won this match. It should have been a win, but you know, it's just one of those things where RNG just costs me the match again. This is the second time this season that it's happened. I should have beaten Merc, and RNG on the rest and beating the speed tie is what gave him that match. And I knew it came down to that when it came down to that turn. I was like, if he rolls rest, he wins this match. If he doesn't roll, if I roll Scold first, then he loses this match. You know, it doesn't matter about anything else. I prepped, and you know, the way that it worked out in my head, the way it was theoried out, is that I won it. It didn't matter. So if I had originally hit the +3 Hyper Voice, I could sweep through his team with just that. Or I could have rested up and then, you know, gave myself better chances, is what it would have been. It would have been a huge, probably 5-0 win for me, which would have been huge. I could have used that 5-0 win. But nope, RNG gives him a 2-0 win, and we take a 2-0 loss and we go to 4-4. I mean, now RNG is pretty much almost costing me the playoffs. That's 2 games. I should be 6-2 right now, but as it is, like I said, RNG is almost costing us the playoffs here, and it's nothing. To me, I'm not losing to prep, and I'm not losing to play. I'm losing to the game. The game itself is hindering my ability to win. You know, like I said, if I hit a hyper voice at any point in that time, I decimate his entire team. His entire team has nothing to deal with my +5 Meloetta. Nothing. I even one-shot his Scarfed Magneton, because Magneton doesn't have the defenses for it. Doesn't matter what his defenses are, I'm +5, and even though he resists normal, it doesn't matter because I KO it immediately. I KO it at +5. So as it is, he gets grats Frawls. You got a win. I'm happy for you. I mean, the Hydreigon set I was happy about, and as soon as you brought it in, I was like, okay, he either thinks I have Psychic or he has a physical Hydreigon. It was one or the other. I actually really thought that you just thought I had Psychic, which would have been a really good play, but I knew that you had a Dark type, so that's why I didn't want to get walled out by that Hydreigon, because I was pretty sure you were bringing it. So that's why I went with Hyper Voice, because I felt you wouldn't bring your Ghost type. And so it was just unfortunate, real unfortunate. So it is what it is, and it's sad and disheartening. And that's why I've been having trouble. It's another reason why I've had trouble recording, because it's like, who wants to record when you know you had a match stolen from you? So, I mean, grats to Frawls. Like I said, you played very great. You played very well. And like I said, at the end, I made a mistake with the Healing Wish. I admit that is my mistake. But as it was, the only thing I can say is that if you should have lost a Hyper Voice, but the 2 high rolls you got in your favor and the 5 Rest Talk procs into nothingness, that's just extraordinarily bad RNG. Like, so I mean, that's like getting frozen for 8 turns, and that's happened. I mean, go check back in my video logs. You'll see there's a video where I get frozen on Mew for 8 turns in a row. I mean, how much bad luck do you have to have 5 Rest Talks, or have 5 Sleep Talks, and to proc 3 rests and 2 Calm Minds? I mean, the Calm Minds were fine. I was fine with getting the Calm Minds, but getting the rest, I'm like, come on, are you kidding me right now? And getting 3 in a row, I was like, what are the odds of proccing 3 rests in a row? I was like, I was expecting at least one of those to be a Hyper Voice, but to see 3 rests in a row, that was completely disheartening. So, but like I said, you know, it's just the way that it is. You know, sometimes Pokemon just doesn't work for you, and it just doesn't give you, you know, all your prep goes out. This is another thing that's frustrating. When you prep well, you play well, but then you something in the game itself costs you. You know, something misses, an attack misses where you needed it to hit, and that's the defining moment of the match. This defining moment was the 2 high rolls. The 2 high rolls that he gets back to back. Had I survived that, I was resting on that turn. He never would have KO'd me from that. And every time he used Outrage, he got 3 attacks on every Outrage. Like, how much more in somebody's favor do you need it to be? This match was so far in Frawls' favor that I procced nothing. I'm surprised I didn't miss the Focus Blast. I'm surprised I didn't miss the Icicle Crash at this point, because it was so much. There was so much that happened, and it was ridiculous. But as you guys see, we took a 2-0 loss, and it was like I said, it was just real disheartening. And this is another one where RNG costs us another win. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it's late. It's just this match was really difficult to wrap my head around, because it was just like this. It's like I said, it's like having a win snatched away from you and given to your opponent. You know, I don't believe I got outplayed. You know, there were some good moves in there, yeah, but I don't believe I got outplayed or outprepped. I believed that it came solely down to RNG, and that was the main reason why I lost this match. So I am a little bit upset about it, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about that. It's just the game that we play, and I have to get used to, you know what, just sometimes the game will not allow you to win, no matter what you do. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe as always. I'll see you in the next video, where we take on Johnny GB next week and his Oregon Ducklets. I am playing, so now I'm pretty much fighting for a playoff spot. There's no guarantee now. So if I had won this match decisively, this would have guaranteed my playoff spot, as long as I don't take 2 huge losses after this. So if I had won this week by the huge win and then beat Johnny GB, that would have guaranteed my playoff spot going into playoffs. But now we have to pull up 2 big wins in order to guarantee our playoff spots, because it's just what it is. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and have yourselves a great day. All right.